Let's get it.
It's an absolutely fine and lovely day here in the QC, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm so glad to see it. I hope everyone is well as usual. I do have a great thought the Most High gave me, but first I just want to share something from my heart, and that is insist on being consistent and heading in the right direction as I end each of my recording with, because as the old saying goes, where there's a will, there's a way. And I say this today because when I came out, I forgot my tripod. I took it in the house last evening because I thought to myself, I better quit leaving it in the truck, because when I leave it right there on my seat, and I halfway cover it with my seat cushion. And I said, I'm going to take it in the house today. Plus, I was going to record some more footage yesterday evening once I saw that some of the footage I thought I recorded yesterday didn't record. However, I forgot to put it in the truck this morning when we took off. So I remembered I had a little smaller tripod in the truck, but I didn't have the base or the camera holder that the small sports cam slides into, and therefore you screw it on top of the tripod, which I thought I didn't. But when I got out here and I started searching my truck, I thought I had another one, and I knew I had another one, but I had forgotten that I had it attached to my helmet for my bike. So I thank the Most High for reminding me of that, and I don't have to go all the way back to the house to get the tripod, which I wasn't going to do in the first place, but still, it's more convenient to hold the tripod at a steady angle while I'm walking and doing my recording, and while it's sitting on the table here, than to hold a little sports cam and try to adjust it as I walk. But we thank the Father for that. And as I said, I had a great thought I wanted to share today. And pardon that dog, I don't know what's wrong with him. It's like every time his owner throws their frisbee, he wants to bark. I think he wants to go run after it, but they won't let him. They're actually playing frisbee golf or disc golf. Okay, and once again, before I get started, I want to say this. I'm not used to giving out words per se from the Most High or from God. I just say that I'm giving a thought or the thought that He gave me, and then you can proceed from there if you want to think the same thought or not. And by listening to these recordings, you are saying that you want to hear these thoughts. But this thought was quite a serious one. That's why I'm saying this. It was quite a serious one that the Most High was like He was giving me an alert. And let's go and get into it. He said, circle the wagons. Circle the wagons. A greater level of commitment. Circle the wagons. A greater level of commitment. And I looked up circle of wagons, as you know I did, but I already knew what it meant, but this is what it means actually out of the dictionary. Circle the wagon means members of a team or group must work together to protect themselves from some outside danger. Generally, they prepare for a possible attack. And I went on and looked up committed or commitment. Committed means feeling dedication and loyalty to a cause, activity, or job, wholeheartedly dedicated. And I'm going to read over my notes. I love Westerns, So it's a no-brainer that the Father will use this analogy to make this very important and most timely point. I was thinking to myself that it really makes no difference who's in this group of people as long as they are all committed to the greater good of the said group. However, then the thought occurred to me that no one would really be stupid enough to be encircled together with a group of people in danger unless they too were facing the same dangers, right? Hold that thought. First, let's put some script on it. And that's Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Most High whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. And Psalms 37:5. Commit your way to the Most High. Trust Him, and He will act. And then He gave me 1 John 4:19-21. We love Him because He first loved us. Or as the Most High told me to read it, He said we are committed to Him because He first committed to us. If a man say, I love the Most High and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that love not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High whom he have not seen? And this commandment have we from Him, that he who loved the Most High love his brother also. So I guess the question would be then, who's my brother? And then 2 Peter 1:3-11, confirming one's calling and election. And you can read that, confirming one's commitment and election. His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who's called us by His own glory and goodness. Through these, He has given us His very great and precious promises, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world caused by evil desires or evil lusts. For this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. For if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of our Master Yahuwah HaMashiach, or the Lord Jesus Christ. But whoever does not have them is nearsighted and blind, forgetting that they have been cleansed from their past sins. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, make every effort to confirm your calling and election. Or like I said before, your commitment. For if you do these things, you will never stumble, and you will receive a rich welcome into the kingdom of our Master and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And that's my notes. And as I was saying, who would put themselves in harm's way if they weren't committed to the way? And that's a very important question. But there are people that's putting themselves in harm's way to make themselves look like they're a part of a family or a part of a group, to hurt the group. What people call infiltrators. And we are put to mind by this thought here, by what's being played in the movies about the Judas, the fellow that betrayed the Black Panthers. And I try not to delve too deep into those things because I'm not looking at it from that side or that point of view. My point of view is what it takes to be committed and what it takes to be part of a group that's right now having to encircle the wagons, or having to come together on one accord, as the script says we should. me look at that one more time before we get to stepping. And the script in 2 Peter 1, 3 through 11, it tells us how to do this. It says, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. Which what I think that mutual affection means is respect. Having a mutual respect for each other. And see, that's the only way that any group of people can come together on one accord, is that you respect one another. And what that basically means, you're showing appreciation for what that individual is bringing to the group. But I said something yesterday that was on my mind when I started reading over this thought for today in the scripts the Most High gave me, especially this one here about making your election sure. I was thinking about that Chinese fellow yesterday evening we ran across before we jumped on the bike, and how he was so joyful and wholeheartedly, as the script says, in his efforts to speak. It's like he stuck out his neck to get my eye contact. And of course, like you see me in all my recordings, I make every effort on the most part to speak to everyone I come into contact with. Because like I said, I like to leave the window of opportunity open, not knowing who I may entertain, as the text says. It says, be careful how you treat strangers, in my own words, because you may entertain an angel or a messenger. Basically what an angel is, a messenger from the Most High. And also they can be messengers from the other side. However, I think this is such a great and important thought for today that we need to really search our hearts and make sure we're making what the text says, our election sure, our election and calling sure, because right now it's time to circle the wagons. And this was a very strict warning that the Most High gave me this morning, because he had already given me the word about commitment. He said a greater level of commitment. He gave me that last night before I went to sleep. And like I said, I like to study before so I can have a foundation for what I'm going to be talking about, my thought for the next day. And he gave me that thought, a deeper level of commitment. So I started looking up commitment. And then overnight when I woke up, he said, encircle the wagons. So I'm like, oh boy, now Father, which way do I go with this? Do you want me to go with the first thought about another level of commitment? Or do you want me to go with this thought about encircling the wagons? And he said, what do they both say to when you put them together? I said, okay. Trouble is on the horizon, so we need a deeper level of commitment to what we have already committed ourselves to. But I'm going to get up and get it. It's a great day. I don't think I'm going to need my vest today. There's a light wind, but I think as long as I'm getting it going to make my walk and my squats and don't tarry, that I can get back here to the truck before I will be affected by my sweating and getting cool. So let's get it. Family, I don't know if I Just lost the footage on my first set of squats, but I'm not doing them again. Just take my word for it. I did them. But my thought concerning this committed thing and circling the wagons, the thought that's on my mind right now is basically, what are you committed to? Oh, what and who are you committed to? Let's get it. I'm getting tired of this. Father, forgive me, I ain't complaining. It's gonna work. And I was just thinking, a lot of us are unknowingly committed to a cause or another group of people. And like I said, unknowingly. And we'll delve into that a little bit more after I catch my breath. Well, I should say after I get this other set of squats. Oh, he's right over there waiting on me. Then after I catch my breath. And basically what I was saying, as far as who we're committed to, pardon me, I just finished up my squats for the week, and I'm feeling them, no doubt. But back to my point, and who we're basically committed to. A lot of times, unknowingly, thinking we're committed to the right people. Oh boy, what you talking about, Robert? Ain't that what little Arnold used to say to Willis? What you talking about, Willis? I think his name was Willis. But yeah. But what I'm talking about is the major difference in my belief and a lot of ordinary good old Christians, which, like I said, unknowingly, they're supporting who they think are the real children of God by the people that's in the land now, who, like Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 speaks of. It says those that would say they are Jews but are not. And who in all history have made this claim besides the people in the land now? And I'm waiting for an answer. And I know you don't have one because it's only one group of people. And the text goes on to say, and I'll find the script and put it in the recording, that the land would be trodden down by the Gentiles until the second coming of Yahushua HaMashiach, or Jesus the Christ, as many know him by. So that's the pretty much only difference in our belief, besides following the word of the Most High, period. As Yahushua said himself, he didn't come to tear down the book, in my own words, but to fulfill it. And he fulfilled it perfectly. And he's called us to do the same. And see, that's why the text says that he would write his laws upon our heart, just like he did with Yahushua's heart. Because Jesus had second thoughts too, just like we do when we face each and every situation that's calling us to do against the Most High's commands. But he had to back down them thoughts and put in place the thoughts the Father gave him and say, nevertheless, your will be done. I know this is what you're calling me to do, so not my will, but your will be done. So that's why I say we're committed to a certain group of people, which the Bible says, bless Israel and you will be blessed. But the problem with that is we're being blessing the wrong people. Therefore, we are not being blessed because we are the people. And people are wondering why America is falling apart and going to hell in a handbasket. A lot of people would say because of abortion and gay rights and all of this, that, and the other. But really, that's not what the text says. It says those that put people in slavery, they themselves would be put into slavery. So that's where America is heading. And that's the basic difference in my core beliefs now. And I don't judge anybody for where they're at in their beliefs, because just like it took me to have an eye opener and a revelation, it's going to take the same for you. But it first starts, I believe, with those scripts we just went over. Oh, it's all right there in black and white for you, and a lot of times in red. And see, I know a lot of people would try to group the fellas out there screaming and hollering and sending every white person to hell, and every person that doesn't have melanin in their skin to hell. But I say not so. That's not the truth. Because, as I like to say, identity without intimacy still equals depart from me. So you can have a grand revelation that you are Israel, the Most High's chosen people. But unless you accept the price he paid to have you come into relationship with him, at the end of the day, he's still going to say, depart from me. So it's up to us to embrace the Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, and accept the price he paid for our salvation. So we're not thinking too far apart, I guess you would say. It's just a little tweaking. And see what the Most High told me when I first came into the understanding of who I am. I came into that understanding because I was seeking him, and with my whole heart. As the script says, wholeheartedly. Or should I say, as today's script says, wholeheartedly. And then you commit to seeking out the truth, irregardless of where it falls. Because every time it's going to fall at your feet. And it's going to be totally up to you to pick it up and accept it, or kick it on down the road and say, no, I'm not ready for this yet. But the text does say, today is the acceptable time. Not tomorrow, not next week, or not when you're ready to accept the truth. Because a lot of people say, I'm not ready for that yet. And a friend of mine, a preacher or minister friend of mine, he told me he was telling a fellow classmate of ours, who's also a preacher now, the truth. And he said, bro, I know all that, but I can't preach that. He said, why, bro? If you know the truth, you know you're responsible for it. He said, no, in my own words. He said, my people will leave me. And that really got me upset on the inside. And basically, the Most High whispered in my spirit, not only have they already left you, but I have too. And it may be a delayed reaction as to when those folks themselves find out the truth. Then they're going to leave him and ask him why he didn't tell them the truth when he knew it. And see, the type of person I am, I started to put that fella on blast. And see, when I first had this vision of putting folks on blast, it was only for those that are doing good in our hood. But when I